Hey guys, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast with me, Alex Whiteley, and we've got a great episode for you today. I don't know what that sound was. I don't know what that sound was. What was that sound? Anyway, we got a great episode for you today, featuring the one and only Luke Allen. This guy is the talk of the county right now. He's bringing a feature film to Shrewsbury, and called First Christmas. I haven't jumped on this yet because I don't like being like first with these things. You know, I like to talk about these things when they feel comfortable and can sit around and we can talk about it. Do you know what I mean? That's the vibe I always go for. But Luke has been coming on my podcast since he was, I don't know, 15 years old. This guy's super talented, and I knew that from a young age. That's what I've always kept up to date with what he's doing, because he's always busy and he's got ambition, and that's going to take him far. And today he's bringing on a guest that I don't, again, like we did this before, a guest where I don't know anything about them. So I learn about the guest as you do. You see the logic there? And we get to play Lukey's jingle. Do you remember I made him that jingle last week? I'm not going to play it now because it'll spoil it, but we get to play him his very own jingle because he's been on my podcast more than anyone ever, I think. So it's only right that he has his own jingle. So thank you, Alec, for making me that, and we'll play it for you on the episode, of course. But listen, before we get into this episode, I need to talk about, I had a really nice meeting with 7 Video this week. I got to meet Freya again. Freya came on the podcast a while ago. Definitely need to get her back on in her new capacity at 7 Video. But I have this amazing idea, Biscuit Takes. It's hot takes in Shrewsbury, right? It's going to be fun, very simple. But we're going to start it at the food festival next weekend. I'll be there. At first I've got the Armed Forces weekend a day, which is on the 27th, and then straight after that I'm going to shoot across to the quarry, and I'll be there Saturday afternoon, and then all day Sunday. So if you see me walking around with little lavalier microphones pinned on something, and there's a camera in front of me, I'm going to be doing food hot takes. What are your food hot takes? What are the things that, and this is, by the way, I need to work a way to do it. Like, the Biscuit is kind of family friendly. Biscuit Takes is not going to be. You can talk about whatever you want, okay? So we can swear, we can do all sorts, but it's just got to be free flowing, organic hot takes. Avoiding politics, avoiding religion, any nasty hate stuff. It's got to be fun. If I find it boring, it's not going on the show. Simple, right? But I'll be at the food festival. It's going to be good. And if you see me about and you have a food hot take, come and see me, because we'll get you in the show. And the idea is to cut it up into little bits. So we were trying it out this weekend with 7 Video to see how it works logistically. Hopefully it takes off. Just got to say quickly about the food festival. If you've never been to Shrewsbury Food Festival, I cannot recommend it enough. It's on the 27th and 28th of June. There's live music, there's great food, there's stuff for the kids to do, there's lots to learn, there is entertainment, there are celebrity chefs walking around and stuff. It's such an amazing weekend. I'd say it's absolutely worth coming from outside of Shrewsbury in as well. Come in, get some sun, go to the quarry, enjoy some music, maybe see me, I don't know. But the Shrewsbury Food Festival is one of the best weekends of the year. It happens on the 27th and the 28th of June. Get your tickets now, and I will see you guys there. Right, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is another episode featuring the one and only Luke Allen. You're going to love this one, guys. I'll see you at the end, and enjoy.
Said I took my lumps, roll with the punches, made my bed, ignored my hunches. I focused on the wrong stuff, but baby, you ought to change now. Let them talk, let them talk, let them talk. Took my lumps.
Hi guys, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. There's a thing that's happening with the Shrewsbury Biscuit which I absolutely love, but it's becoming a regular frequency on the show. It's a frequent thing, and we have a regular guest. I think he's probably guested on the show more than anyone in the history of the Shrewsbury Biscuit. So before I introduce him, I made you a jingle.
Oh,
I made you your own jingle.
My.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
oh my gosh, it's him! Who's the fella with the sunny day smile? Got that upbeat, can-do kind of style. Who brings the good times along for the ride with a pocket full of sunshine deep inside. Everyone shout it out, make some noise. It's Luke Allen. What a swell guy!
This is like my favourite thing ever. I love that.
You come on the show so much, Luke, that I needed to make something for you. And I was thinking South Park Butters. It's Butters. That's me. And I was just like, so I spoke to my friend Lek. He made that for me. So thank you so much.
Well, I'm going to make that follow me around everywhere now.
It's Luke Allen. Because we have this thing. So last time you brought a guest and I said, I don't want to know anything about the guest. You bring the guest. I'll meet you for the first time. And I learn about you as the listeners do. And that's the idea, right? So, Luke, who have you brought today to the show?
I have brought Alyssa Roehrenbeck, who is one of the executive producers on our feature First Christmas, which we spoke a tiny bit about, I think, on the last interview.
Yeah,
but
we did.
There's actually like stuff we're allowed to talk about now. And Alyssa, today is your first day in Shrewsbury, having come from America, which is not near Shrewsbury.
Not at all.
Not even close. No, I stepped off the train today, met with Luke, and then we turned around and we looked at the train station and I said, oh my God, we have to film here. And now I've been wandering around for several hours, just randomly popping into shops and asking people about filming there.
It must be really nice because, like, obviously you guys have been talking about this beforehand. Maybe you've seen pictures of Shrewsbury, some videos maybe, but to see it in person and to sort of visualize what's going to happen, it must be quite nice to see.
Oh, I love it. I mean, as Luke was putting it earlier, which is very true, and I will accept being the token American in this view. But
oh, no such thing.
Which is funny because our director's also American.
is that it is exactly what people think of when they think of like a British Christmas movie. Like this town has everything. Like we've found options for almost every single location.
Yeah,
minus the house. We'll get to that.
It's such a relief as well, like because from first reading the script, I was like, this feels like Shrewsbury. That was always my feeling, and so we'll talk a little bit more about what this film is. But it instantly felt like Shrewsbury to me. And normally I open a script and I'm like, where am I going to be? But I feel like I've had almost like a tiny kind of guilt in bringing that up when people find out that I live 20 minutes away. Like it's like, you know, is he really just setting a film near where he, and so I love bringing Alyssa here, bringing Keith here. Everyone we brought here has been like, oh, I get it now.
Well, I feel like it is a new unique thing to. I know. It's like to be from a place where it's Telford or Shrewsbury, live there all your life, and still appreciate it for the beauty that it is. Because some people take that for granted. You know, I'm not from Shrewsbury. I moved here. I was like, I did what you did. I did what Americans do. I went, oh my God, it's like a Dickens novel. You know, I moved here. It snowed like just after we moved here. I went over Greyfriars Bridge and it looked like a Dickens novel. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. You could literally take a picture of this, put it on a greetings card, and it would sell. Mm-hmm. You know, it is just a beautiful place.
And I think it's a thing that ever since kind of coming to college here and everything, I've always felt like Shrewsbury feels so underrepresented on screen. I'm going to move my phone to silent. So underrepresented on screen. And I think it's a shame. But it's an exciting opportunity as well. And I'm always careful when I say this because I feel like it sounds like I'm downplaying the amount of work that culture and tourism do, which is not what I'm doing at all. But I think we have a really unique opportunity to be when Americans or people from a different part of the UK hear the word Shrewsbury, we could be the first thing they think of. And I love that. That's a filmmaker's playing ground, you know.
We'll strive for that.
I mean, so tomorrow we've got meetings in Bristol, and I'm someone who grew up watching E4's Skins. Whenever I think of Bristol. Yeah. Even though I've watched loads of other things filmed in Bristol, I've been in Bristol loads, the first thing I think of Bristol is Skins, and I'm definitely not the only person, and I'm sure their tourism board either loves or hates that.
Is there a tour? I bet there's like a tour you can go around.
Almost certainly, but also like just walk through Bristol and you're going on the Skins tour. Like everything has been covered.
Do you think it's amazing that when something like draws people to an area, like at the moment, we love Ren in this house, and if you've ever heard of the musician Ren, he's from Brighton. He's probably the only person I'm hearing talking about Brighton at the moment. You can go and do a Ren like tour to see where we filmed all those music videos and all this sort of stuff. It's amazing when someone brings it. And all we've got here, is two Charlies. Yeah. Charlie had Charlie Adlard. That was an accident. I just accidentally flipped the bird at Luke. Charlie Adlard and Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's
And Ebenezer Scrooge. Don't short him.
Ebenezer Scrooge. Yeah.
there we go. You're reminding Al of culture.
Yes.
But it's interesting because, like, I mean, you know, we've spoken before, albeit a while back, about my obsession of the Richard Curtis film About Time, right? And I convinced my family for my 18th birthday to do 3 days in Cornwall that was just visiting locations from About Time, because I was just so excited and immersed by that film that I was like, I need to go to the beach, I need to go to the house, I need to go to the church, and visiting all these places. And like, we could be that. There could be people who want to become part of First Christmas.
I can tell you that that's a real thing. I spend most of my time in Oregon and in Portland, and we have something there called the Film Trail, and we do a lot of independent films there, a lot of which have like a lot of notoriety. And like one of the ones, which this was from a long time ago, but The Goonies was shot in Astoria.
Oh, I love The Goonies.
Yeah. And so there's a house that was shot at, which, to be honest, they don't quite love everyone coming to their house all the time, but people do it all the time. And we have something called the Film Trail, where they put up little plaques at all of the places where people film, and then they have like little QR codes where you can read about the film and what was shot there. Twilight shot in the area. A lot of other notoriable films. And so it's been such an interesting way to sort of develop the tourism in that area, is by instigating the place. And I think that's really what we want to do with First Christmas. Is like, our idea would be like, let's shoot here and make it about the place that we're shooting. And that seems really exciting to us.
I think we could do with a soap here, like a proper soap, like a TV show, you know, something like that. Like we had Hollyoaks in Chester, you know what I mean? Like something
Yeah, there wasn't there. What was it? Is it Home from Away or something? There was one of the like big international soaps that like in the. I'm gonna get so corrected.
Not Home and Away.
It was one. What was it?
Oh my God,
Some
you're the
international
corrections
one
corner next
that
week.
did an episode where they went to England and they filmed it all in Telford. And I only found out about this like a couple of months ago, but it was like in the 80s, and it's just like there's all these like Australians like filming in Bridgnorth. Like it was so weird. I'm gonna check on that straight after this, but it's exciting. And obviously with First Christmas, before we move into anything kind of more in depth, I'm just so used to the fact that whenever someone says we're making a film, the question is who's in it. So we can talk about that now. We couldn't.
Yeah.
before.
Right, okay. What we need to do is we need to do this chronologically. When did you conceive the idea? Because we haven't really talked about First Christmas.
Yeah. So I got approached. So we'll keep it on edge about who's in it. I got approached.
I've got some suspense music here somewhere.
I got approached end of 2024 by a director called Keith Kopp. I had done my sketch show. Keith Kopp had directed one of the sketches from that. Before then, in 2022, we met at an event in Bristol, actually, with Film 4. It was a networking event for creatives. I met this director and instantly felt like I hadn't seen any of his work, but the way he spoke about film, I'm like, I want to work with this guy. I just get it. So actually then I had this sketch show where each sketch had a different director. I thought this is a great chance to test out this working relationship with this director because, hey, if it all goes to crap, like it was a 1 or 2 day shoot, but it was a real good way for me to get to know different people. And I got on so well with Keith and it was such a lovely shoot. Then he approached me tail end of 2024 and said he's been working on this idea for this film with a writer he's worked with before. Keith had done one feature film before with this writer, a film called Translations, which is brilliant. It's on some streamers. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But he went, do I want to come on board and produce? And, you know, I instantly was quite taken aback about the fact that, you know, that's quite a big step from a 2 day shoot to do you want to helm this project? But of course I said yes before I'd even read the script because I loved working with Keith. I loved the opportunity. Then I read the script and it's legitimately one of the best scripts I've ever read. It was beautiful. This real tale of the effects of grief over Christmas. It's a comedy drama, also a bit of a dark comedy, kind of about this family coming to terms with their first Christmas together since the mother's passed away. And it's just real quaint kind of reflection of human experience. And we were on it for about a year, just kind of gathering early finance, having a lot of meetings, finding out what the scale and what the budget of this film is. We've settled at around this point of about 3.1 million is the budget of this film, which a lot of people, it sounds like massive, but this is a low budget independent
it's
film.
definitely not a lot of money. It will go very fast.
And yeah, towards the tail end of last year, we brought on Alyssa, who had worked with Keith on a short, was it nearly 15 years ago?
Oh, we won't talk about how long ago. It was very, very long ago in my baby producing days. In fact, it was the first thing I ever produced was Keith's senior thesis short film, and he came to the States to do it in Oregon. So that was how we met. And then we've just kept in touch this entire time. We both sort of blossomed our careers in different ways. And then sort of he reached out to me and it was just like the right timing. And I read the script and I don't pick movies lightly. For me, they have to mean something to me. And when I read the script and the story, just the heartfelt nature of the amount of darkness with the grief, but the amount of levity with the comedy, and then that it all being about, are we going to be a family that separates or comes together? And it being a Christmas movie, but in a very non-Hallmark way, I was like, count me in.
And to establish, who Alyssa's scale and what you work at, because you don't big yourself up at all, so I will do this,
gracious.
is your last film, Wishful Thinking, just won Best Narrative Feature at South by Southwest, stars Maya Hawke and Lewis Pullman,
I got an airport
and has
one.
been
That'll do.
and has been picked up by Sony Pictures Classics for release next year.
Valentine's Day weekend, which is a big deal. Yeah, I've been very grateful to have a very good year of several of my movies doing very well. And I like to think it's a testament just to the hard work of me and all of my crews and the people working behind the scenes. But I'm excited to sort of bring that to the UK and try to make something out of this film as well.
Luke, man.
Yeah,
Bringing talent like this to Shrewsbury. Well done.
I'm excited to be here.
this is what I'm trying to like big you up more. Is like I'm like this is cool. Like successful American producer comes to Shrewsbury to make this.
Alyssa, you said a key phrase as well just a second ago. Not Hallmark, because you see Christmas movies on Hallmark, or you see them on Channel 5. Or some of them are a bit like, I think people like those cheesy Christmas.
There is an audience for them.
I mean, to be honest, I am the audience for them sometimes.
My wife's family, my mother-in-law, she'd sit and watch them all day. She'd absolutely
all day. But those are also the type of movie that you have on while you're wrapping Christmas gifts, while you're doing laundry, while you're doing all these things. Our movie is definitely not that. It's something you want to sit down and actually have the family
and that's the
watch
juxtaposition,
night around.
But I also think we don't. What I love about this is it's a very mature film. But actually, the people who like those Hallmark films are also still going to like this.
Agreed.
It still has that message of hope. It's not artsy to the point of like feeling isolated. It's like actually, if you had a family where, I don't know, the parents love cheesy Hallmark films and the kids are teenagers that are obsessed with art house, like they're going to come together and like this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on so many projects where you're battling between people who like the script and people who don't, and trying to convince people like, but come on, like if this is what I have not had to sell the script to anyone, and what I love as well is the two sides of a meeting. I can tell if someone's read the script. It's like you have a meeting, you mentioned Christmas film, and people sometimes come with that kind of Hallmarky edge, and they're like, okay, yeah, maybe we're interested. We'll see what we do. Then I get a phone call like a week later being like, I need to be part of this film. And it's like,
the real goal is to move people, right? That's the idea. I mean, when it comes to any kind of art, really, not necessarily music, movies, art, So the script is that powerful that just by reading it, it kind of moves you in different directions.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lovely quote I heard from one of our team. There's another exec producer. We've got a guy called Samuel Anderson. Some people will know him. This is his first kind of step into producing. Normally he's in front of the camera, and he is also in front of the camera in one of the supporting roles in First Christmas, but he's known to people as Danny Pink from Doctor Who, Fingers from Gavin and Stacey, Mal from Amanda Land. Like, he is brilliant. And he came on board behind the camera on this, and we were in a meeting with someone and we were trying to sell the film to them, and I remember Sam saying, and I will slightly PG-ify what he said here.
You can we'd like 12A on the business.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll say it then. He said, the thing is, the only way this could be a shit film is if you left the lens cap on. He was like, the script and the actors, you just know it's going to be great. And I love hearing that from someone who, like, is doing some massive stuff. I don't know whether it's been announced yet, but like there's a big thing he's got coming out this year with a very prestige cast, and he's like got a very significant role in it. And it's like, and he likes the scrappy Shropshire Christmas movie. You know?
I think that it's like such a thing. I mean, when you have a script that you know is good, you don't have to sell it. And I've always dealt that way, even with crew. I've always had the I don't know if it's luck or gratitude of the crew of when they read a script and then they think it's a good idea, then it's an easy buy-in. And that is really kind of the true sign to me of when then something is worth making. And so, you know, the fact that we've just been able to so quickly sort of like have some of these dominoes fall in order to make this movie has really been a telling sign of that this is a movie worth making and the audiences want to see. So it's been really kind of an exciting process so far to sort of see everybody kind of come alive with the story.
One of the heads of department that we have attached, I won't name names, but she told me that like every job she's taking on this year that are like big TV dramas or like films with budgets that are like 10 times what we are, she's telling all of them, just so you know, if First Christmas clashes with this, I'm quitting. Like, and she's so keen to work on this film, and like she told me she's doing that. I'm like, that's insane. like they're going to be paying you like 3 times what we're paying you, but she's so connected to the project, so connected to our approach to production with the culture stuff we spoke about on the last podcast as well, that like she's so keen to be a part of this. And there's a few of these. There's a few of our crew who I've already seen in their email signature signing off, you know, something on First Christmas, and I'm like, you're on this, you know.
My next question was going to be, how do you take this golden script and capitalize on it in Shropshire? Because we talked last time I spoke to you, we were saying there's not enough going on in movies in Shropshire. It's all tends to be London, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like to come here in Shropshire
So here's the thing, you know, I in the States I'm very used to working on location. Like obviously our big bases are New York and Los Angeles, and I'm in Portland, which is a smaller town, but I've also done movies literally in the remote mountains of Mount Hood where we didn't even have Wi-Fi signal. And to be honest, there's something special about those movies because you're capturing something that people don't get to see or get to experience. And so I think especially here, what's so amazing is that this isn't a place that's been filmed. It hasn't been a place to capture on film. And when you walk through the streets, it feels like you're on this like little bit of a magical journey. And if we can share just a little bit of that with the world, that goes a long way to the place itself being a character in the movie, which to me adds so much to what the story is. It's incredible.
I can relate to that instantly because Luke, I don't know if I can share this with you on the podcast without you actually flipping out on me, but it's a family issue. Yeah. I'm quite embarrassed about it, but I've never seen Holes. And so my son was like, we want to watch Holes. We've just watched like the first 40 minutes of Holes. I'd never seen it before. I just remember Shia LaBeouf going, yeah, we were in those holes. We were in those holes in the desert, in the sun. Yeah. And I was looking at that place, and it's obviously filmed on set. But like, you couldn't film it anywhere else. That is another character of the movie. And you're right. I mean, we talk about Twilight. That was filmed there because it's dark and because it's the trees and because you know it adds
moody,
to it.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit about Shrewsbury that it feels right now like our little secret. It's like people don't know that we got this.
Yeah.
But I think what's interesting is building up the excitement in the region is the easy bit. That's the bit that's very what the battle is that there isn't the infrastructure for production. So there are conversations that in London might be 5 minutes, might take a day. You know, trying to. I mean, that's part of the challenge.
Closing the street in Shrewsbury.
I'm a patient person. We can make that work.
Yeah, but I mean that's what excites me because I also like I sort of hope we're the first of many. I sort of hope that something like this.
But there is stuff going on in Shrewsbury, but it's kind of like the prison's a big part of goes on in the prison's amazing. Time with Sean Bean was incredible. I don't know if you've ever saw that, the BBC production. really amazing stuff, and they have soaps and TV shows come there all the time.
We did Henry House in there for a day.
Of course you did. Yeah, I forgot. My God, how did I forget that?
It was, and it's such a. That was my first time even just being in there. Was when we shot in there, and I'm like, this is gorgeous. This is fantastic. But it's opening people up to more. I mean, they did Celebrity Hunted, was that was weird. Watching James Acaster and Ed Gamble wandering around the streets of Shrewsbury and hiding in restaurants was amazing. But it's like people are slowly discovering it, and this is happening everywhere. Like the BBC have been one of the big places that have started really pushing towards regional stuff. You'll notice it a lot in the end credits of BBC shows. There'll often be a little picture of a map and where in the UK they've shot that, and they're really kind of pushing regions. But still, places like Birmingham are new and exciting to them. Whereas, like compared to Shrewsbury, it's like Birmingham's been being filmed in for years. Like,
well, we were just talking about this, weren't we? You was talking about you've been to the UK, but kind of London. That's what a lot of people from all over the world do. They come to London, or they maybe go to Liverpool because Liverpool's like the Beatles and all that. But to venture outside of there and to see what, I mean, we talk about Shrewsbury. Shropshire's got Much Wenlock, it's got Bridgnorth, it's got all these amazing market towns with all this beautiful architecture that you could do anything.
It's also got Telford, but
Telford is good for. I mean, like I'm originally from Telford, and I moved there because I thought Shrewsbury would be a better place to raise a family. But now I'm looking at what they're doing in Telford, the infrastructure they're building,
exciting.
and the way it's expanding. It'll be a city within 5 years.
I think it's really cool, and I think the London thing as well. So I mean, I'm sure it'll be a conversation we expand upon. But a couple of weeks ago, Alyssa and I were in Cannes with our director at the Cannes Film Festival.
I did see
taking meetings and stuff, and I met several people at parties and at bars who hear my accent and go, "So what part of London are you from?" And it's like, just because I am British and in...
Sit down, dickhead. I've got something to tell you.
But the unfortunate thing is as well, is I was having to... I got so bored of explaining where Shropshire was. I just started telling them I was from Birmingham. Like, I just started being like, I'm from Birmingham.
You should be like, do you know Rob McElhenney? Yeah, and Ryan Reynolds? Stone's throw from there, but that's Wales, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Occasionally I was like, maybe I'll tell them I'm Welsh. Like, I'm just...
It's not McElhenney anymore. It's Mac, isn't it? Rob?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know why. There must be. I've not.
Because people spell his name wrong all the time.
Yeah, and I heard McElhenney said a lot as well.
The McKellen.
Yeah, which is, I don't know. It's interesting. I lost track of a lot. I was following all the Wrexham.
So we're going
to.
So I grew up in Wrexham. I was the English kid in the Welsh. I think I've said that on the last 3 or 4 episodes. There must be something going on up there that's just kind of like...
You're processing.
But I'm a Shrewsbury Town fan. The rivals, right? So massive rivals. So whenever we play with each other, there's just back into abuse. It's amazing. I love it. So like, whilst we're like with the football team, I grew up there, and I love the injection of love that town's had. City.
Yeah.
Has had.
Yes. Yeah. It's lovely. I mean, speaking of Wales, Keith, our director, his last feature, Translations, that was a Welsh set feature film, which is fascinating. American director living in England, just makes a film Welsh. But it's a gorgeous independent kind of black and white mumblecore feature that is well worth a watch, wherever you find that. Foursome is a stream.
Again, it's called Translations, and you can find it on streaming networks.
Yeah. At the moment, it's on a site called Foursome, which is awesome with an F at the start.
Don't put that.
Yep.
I was like, is that getting edited out?
Yeah,
No, we'll leave it in.
Yeah. What I will
Spell
also
that one right, kids.
In fact, I don't have the date to hand, but it will be at the Oswestry Film Festival that's coming up.
How was Cannes? I mean,
yeah, Oswestry Film Festival, Cannes.
Yeah, well, you kind of breezed over that. My wife's cousin Jimena in Bogota. She is an actress, and she's a long-time actress. And I remember when she went to Cannes, she was so happy to be there. That's like the goal, isn't it, to get to Cannes?
It's cool.
Quite literally one of the best experiences I've ever had. And we had such a magical week of, I think the vitamin D does a lot for the body, the sun and the beach, and it was gorgeous. And
British heat and French heat are so different. I could survive as a ginger in the sun, and I've never felt the sun and not felt like I was like burning to death. but I was like, this is why people like The Sun. I finally got it.
Oh, I love The Sun. No, we had a fabulous time, and we had so many great meetings, and like some of them together, some of them apart, and we actually met with investors interested in investing in the film. We met with other filmmakers.
We both extended our trip as well. We were both
that's right. It was going so well that both Luke and I extended our trip by a couple of days just so that we could take more meetings because so many people were interested.
Networking. That sounds really good.
I mean, the first night we were at a bar where almost everyone in that bar was a film financier. It was very we were.
It was a little surreal. Yes.
You were there with your little fishing rod. What
I will say, everyone always asks this question as well. Some people will be very annoyed at us for saying this. We didn't see a single film. We were so tied in meetings. We didn't go to a single screening for the week.
We will next time. That's what your second is for.
I mean, but
so I can imagine some of the conversations. What was your favorite?
Well, it's interesting because I think that that's sort of a very familiar experience because a lot of people there are to network and to not see the movies. I think it's kind of like two separate things. Or you have a movie there and then you're doing that as well. But there's so many people. Like what was so fun and interesting and welcoming about the whole thing was that you're walking through the streets of town every single day. You're doing so much walking. But the thing about it is you could stop on any corner and just run into someone and start a conversation with them. And there was not this in the United States, and I imagine in other places in Europe too, there's this giant hierarchy of well, I can't talk to that person because they're a studio exec at this place. Or I can't talk. And for some reason, when you're in Cannes, that dissipates.
Yeah.
So it was a very surreal experience of not feeling like there was any of these hurdles or guards or things set up around you. And it was so nice to just stop and shake hands with someone and have a real conversation about our real movie that we want to make. And then we're still having meetings. I mean, that's why I'm here. We're going to London on Thursday for follow-up meetings from the meetings we had there. So it's been a really magical experience of letting people know what the film is about and attaching their heart as much as our hearts attached.
Yeah, and people were excited. The biggest fear for me was we're coming to the place where every film tries to go to get interest, to try and get finance, and currently we're at the stage of turning handshakes in Cannes into contracts and cash. But it's going very fruitfully, and I felt like we were very much going to be, small fish in the big pond. What was lovely is that the themes and the cast of the film translate internationally. And I was talking to Australians at a party, and I told them who's in our film, and they were like, "That's amazing! I so want to be." And this is, no, I'm so used to working on stuff where they're pulling up Google in front of you and going, "Who's that?"
Right, okay.
You've been trying to avoid the thing I want to bring up is what's happening, isn't it? I want to talk about the cast. And
no. We'll get there. There's so many things I want to.
Yeah.
Many angles, but when it comes to elevator pitches, right? An elevator pitch is a great thing, but it's when you're doing it to a blank face or someone that there's no expectations there. It's easier, right? It's easier to be like, I'm a human, you're a human. We want to do stuff. Why not help me? And I have still got a voice note on my phone of Luke going, "Yeah, we need to find £500,000 because funding's been pulled. Is there any way you can help me, please? Maybe you can put on the biscuit to all 6 of my listeners." Did you get it?
With this?
Yeah.
We're waiting for things to.
As Luke said, we have handshake promises that we're looking to turn into contracts. But I feel confident that we're getting the money. We're looking for a little bit of the final piece of financing, which is what we're really seeking this week in London.
Was I allowed to say that by the way?
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
We can take it out if you want, but no, it was a case of I really want to make this movie, man, but we've run into this hurdle. Can you help me, Alex? And
yeah.
I mean that's it because until money lands in the bank on these things, you have loads of very fruitful conversations. You have people who are interested. You have even contracts that are in place. But until the money lands in the bank, you don't relax. You're kind of constantly looking for these conversations. So
how do you have these conversations? How do you tailor them? Because you've got to go in with a certain amount of ego, right? Because you'll got to seem confident, right? But you don't want to seem like you got too much of an ego because you'll be like, this guy can get, we're not going to give him our money. You've also got to go with a planned thing to say. So how do you do your elevator pitch?
Big shift,
how do you nail it,
The big shift for me was going from stuff which is when we're doing shorts and things like that and looking for financing, where you're asking for favors. You're asking essentially, will you donate to our crowdfunder? You're asking stuff where both parties kind of know that they'd be very lucky if they got their money back. Moving into projects of this scale and something with the kind of real commercial pull of First Christmas, for me, was realizing I'm not asking favors. I'm offering a business opportunity. I'm offering something that I truly have faith that you could make your money back tenfold. Like, this is a
and
real
then you have to prove that you can back that up. Like, I mean, I think that a lot of movies, people will always tell you that investing in a movie is one of the riskiest things you can do, which is absolutely true. However, when you make smart decisions about the team that's behind a film, the actors who are behind a film, the location about filming a film, and when you can tell that the team knows what they're doing and has a proven track record, as we do, then it becomes, the risk starts to get mitigated. And so the risk becomes less and less. And when you can prove that you have the knowledge to pull something all the way through, then investors start to want to listen to what you have to say. So if you prove that you're smart enough to know what you don't know, but smart enough to bring in people who do know what you don't know, then that sort of goes a long way to telling an investor, who are usually business people, that okay, well this might be something that's worth my while. I mean, you also have the opposite end of investors as well, which I've dealt with a lot, which is people who really just want to put their money into something that they believe in or that they find artistically valued. So you have a little bit of everything.
There are some people who just love stamping their name on something that they've got. They've got the sort of money that they just go, I'd love to just see my name on a film credits. And like, that's the ideal scenario in my mind is a mix of all of them. Is some people who want that sort of ego credit, if I can call it that, versus people who have a real creative passion for the film, and people and the business people, because actually, it is a business. That is the thing that sometimes is the real wake up of reaching to a scale of film like this. The goal isn't to make the film. The goal is to make a film that makes money. that is how the world works.
But you've got this golden script that you just don't. I mean, like, do Shropshire? Have you spoken to people that sort of represent Shrewsbury or Shropshire that see the value in this?
Yes, we had a meeting today.
Yeah,
with the
like
council.
a few hours ago.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Excellent.
Really well. He was.
We've already had 2 follow-up emails since the email.
Yeah,
the meeting.
he is efficient. Yeah, that was really.
I'll speak to you about that off mic. I'm glad that went really well.
But yeah, people are excited. Sam, who we spoke about before, the actor and exec producer, also like gave such a good pitch on a Zoom recently with some of the guys from the council as well, where he was talking about how
I pulled my lanyard out of my pocket because it's digging into my leg. That seemed really.
He was talking about how he truly believes that people will come visit Shrewsbury and look at the locations of this film, and he gave this really charismatic pitch about how he can imagine like children going on trails to visit the and I was like, it sold me. I was like, I'm here to sell this film, but I need to
speak to this guy because I've had these ideas for years just for the history alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
he'd be great to get on at some stage. He's based
Definitely.
in London, but
when we come here to film,
yeah,
we should
Sam,
do another meeting with him.
Yeah,
I can help you. So a few years ago, I produced an audio trail around Shrewsbury. So that you start off, we did Old St. Chad's, we did the Abbey, we did all sorts, and you go to a circle, you scan your QR code, and it plays in your ear, and then you can have an audio tour for it, and you'll tell you all about the history. And it was amazing to make. And Shrewsbury Beard, we should reprint those circles. I was just saying, it would be great to see people going around and going, oh, this is where Luke Allen filmed this.
Yeah.
And this is where this was made, and taking photos. And
I think that's exactly how the Portland Film Trail works. And I think that it would be so easy and fun. And I didn't tell Luke, I'm telling Luke something right now live on air.
But wait, we've got some suspense music. It's not yet.
No, it's okay. I was just thinking, like, it would be so fun and easy, and we should definitely consider that once we have all of our locations picked, we can make a map like that and have it on our website, and then eventually share it with other people. And it would be so cool to just share like the locations that we end up choosing.
I think it is really a regional character. Like it is such a significant part of the film. And I want to give back to the support I've had making stuff in the region. It's been so lovely, kind of starting at 14, making stuff. I mean, the biggest.
You've changed, man.
I've
been interviewing him since he was 15 years old with Tom Bruno from USUC, US UK. So I had this transatlantic podcast with my brother, my pod brother over in Vermont, Tom Bruno. We did an amazing thing, and you came on there. You were 15.
Yeah.
Wow.
You had to tone down the tone of the show.
We were like, we can't.
Like-
I think I had to write to your mom and say, is it right if he comes on here? Because we do swear sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting. But like, we did a press release before we went to Cannes, kind of just announcing the project a bit more and announcing the cast and things like that. And we did a local. It went to some of the kind of industry stuff, but it also went into like a local news thing. And it sounds like the most minor thing, but Telford Live, their headline for it was cast announced for new Luke Allen project, and I was like, is that what I've become? Like, am I? Do people
It's a
know
local
what
headline.
And I was like, I was so. We were in Cannes when it came out, and I was like, I'm in the headline. Like, it's my, which is great. Also, in case I don't mention it when we talk cast later,
I can just imagine him in the mirror going, I am Luke Allen.
Yeah.
I am Luke
Do
Allen.
you know who I am?
Make way, people. You need to take me to Cannes, because I can be like, it's Luke Allen, by the way.
play the jingle. In
He knows
Cannes.
Alex Yousefi. Back off. Like,
Alex Yousefi won an award yesterday, which is great. He's an award-winning screenwriter now. But we had. What was I saying? So before, just as a side note, for later on when we talk cast or anything else, I also just want to give a shout out to our casting director.
we're not going to talk about the cast on. No.
We'll leave that out. But But
Luke,
shout
hold
out
your
Amy
horses, Luke.
No, it's not. I just feel like I remembered that the article was one of the only ones that actually named her, despite her being in the press release. So I want to just shout out our casting director, Amy. But it's in the. Sorry, my brain's tangenting everywhere. But the "Don't you know who I am" thing. I always remember. I can't remember who it was who said it, but one of the guys we had a little entourage in Cannes of a good group of us. I remember some of them went, "Don't you know who I think I am?" And I'm like, I love that. That is an autobiography title. And
The thing is, I'd love an ego. I would love to be able to be like, because I was talking about the Talking Shrimp guys a couple of weeks ago, another local podcast, and I was saying I got recognised today. And when people come to go, "Oh, you're the biscuit guy," it kind of makes me heave a little bit, because I'm genuinely very humble person, and I don't want to. I don't ever. It makes me feel a bit weird. Why is that? Why do I get embarrassed by that?
Yeah.
I shouldn't. Should I? Do you know what I mean? I've been doing this for a long time, but yeah.
I think there's something British and especially Shropshire about
Apologetic.
Like, I
I'm
feel
so
like-
sorry. You know who I am.
I feel like and especially like the working class roots of Telford. I do feel there's a weird feel of guilt about success. We were in Cannes at a villa party, this kind of real fancy thing, and I was saying, like, I feel guilty being here. I feel like I feel like I've let down Telford by going to a villa party, and it doesn't make any sense at all.
What? It
But
makes
there's this weird kind of British.
No, I feel like
thing.
we should use this as a look, because I don't think. Right, okay, what's the best way to say this? Shrewsbury, Telford, Bridgnorth, Whitchurch, Oswestry, all these little towns in Shropshire, they're Shropshire towns, right? They all have their own identity.
Yes.
Right? They do. But we should be talking about Shropshire, right?
Yes.
The Shire, man. It's the trees and the mountains and the rivers and the Ludlow. Oh man, Ludlow's amazing. You get off the bus in Ludlow, giant castle right in front of you. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is like, and also, like, shout out to the creatives from the region as well. We were talking, was it before or during the show, about the people who come out of Shropshire? Like, I just want to also bring up Jesse Armstrong is a Shrewsbury guy.
Wow.
And he he's written some of the greatest television ever. In my mind, I'm talking about Peep Show, but I know he's written more better dramas, but Peep Show's the peak.
There's a guy he was in Arrow, and he's been in other things as well. Oh my god, this is really bad. I hate looking like I'm on my phone, but there's a guy who was in Arrow, which I absolutely loved. What's his name? Paul Blackthorne. He's been in loads of stuff, right?
Yeah.
He's from Wellington.
Oh, nice.
And I've been trying to get him on the biscuit for a long time. I'm obviously not that big, am I?
Also, of course, Greg Davies. Like that's the one that he's aware.
No,
Okay.
not allowed to mention him on the podcast.
We're not.
He's British A-lister, right? He's massive here. Never been on the biscuit once. I've tried so many times, and I was like, do you know what? Don't care how big you are, you're not allowed on the biscuit. I'm hoping that the reverse psychology works.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's big in height.
I'd say he's British A-lister.
Yeah, I think so. I went to a Taskmaster studio record a few weeks back, and he's awesome.
So he does a show called Taskmaster, but he's done lots of TV shows. But he was in what was that one he did with Andy Samberg?
Hang on, Cuckoo. No,
Cuckoo.
Was that Cuckoo?
Cuckoo.
He did Man Down.
Man Down.
He was in the In-Betweeners.
man.
He was in the In-Betweeners. Is that transferred to the States? Does
They've
that?
got their own version of it in the States, the In-Betweeners.
But I heard it was dreadful, so I don't know if anyone actually.
I don't know what it is. So.
It's like it's like what British school life is. Every teenager in Britain compares their school experience.
It's iconic. It's British
It is.
iconic.
Okay.
And it came out like, I want to say close to 20 years ago, but like school kids are still
It's
watching
still
it, quoting
relatable,
it
yeah.
now. It's so
Swanker.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to beat that out.
because it's the cheeky thing that you're not really old enough to watch when you're in school, but everyone kind of has.
These kids have
So
got
it's like the 90210 of my generation.
no, I think 90210 is kind of like Bling. They're kind of taking the mick out of these kids.
Okay.
Like they're all like, I mean, they're called the in-between. I'm just picturing the in-betweeners now. They're called the in-betweeners because they are like the in-between in school society. Like they're not the loneliest, worst kids in the school, but they're not.
They're just embarrassing.
They're just awkward. They're embarrassing. They all brag about sexual escapades that they've
didn't
definitely
really
not
happen.
had. And it's
As a writer of comedy, it's what you dream for. Is that kind of cast and
that kind of success. It was so unprecedented, and like I can't think of really anything else that. I mean, was it before or during this when I mentioned Skins? I think it was during this.
yeah.
That for me is the same sort of thing of like that has defined multiple generations. I guarantee a good percentage of kids in schools and colleges still watch Skins, and that finished years ago.
This is going to sound really embarrassing, but I don't care. We're watching House at the moment, which is like, I know it's like 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
But the writing on that is so good. And Hugh Laurie, I mean, come on. Yeah. Hugh Laurie is part of one of the greatest writing staff in the history of British comedy. Those with, those Blackadder writing rooms. Could you imagine being there in that room?
With Richard Curtis, yeah. And a bit of Fry and Laurie is so good from a sketch comedy perspective. Like it is one of the greatest sketch shows of all time, and it's not in the conversation enough. It's all Monty Python, and understandably so, and some of the other ones. I feel like Fry and Laurie keeps slipping through the cracks, and it's like they were brilliant. But I also so love how, once again, like I sort of feel like Shrewsbury's our little secret. I sort of feel like Hugh Laurie was that. Like he when he auditioned for House, everyone like assumed he was American. And it was like this whole thing of like, oh, we didn't realize he was
in Blackadder.
And it's like he was an icon here for so long, but it's like just no one internationally knew. Yeah. And then he got to be Stuart Little's dad.
Yeah. That's what I said to Timmy. I was like, he's Stuart Little's dad. He goes, I haven't seen Stuart Little. I was like, oh, you're 11. He did. He has watched it. He's just got.
Written by M. Night Shyamalan.
So, Alyssa, I want to find out a bit about you.
Sure.
Where did you begin your escapades into movie? Where does this begin for you?
Oh, that's so interesting you would ask.
Escapades, was that?
I grew up in Ohio, which is in the Midwest of the United States, and they're not filming happening there, definitely when I was a kid. I grew up in the theater scene, and then I went to college for theater, and I ended up at a school that did both theater and film, and I was really good friends with a lot of the guys in the film program. In fact, I lived with like 4 of them my entire senior year, which meant they're constantly asking me to act in their like student films. And I eventually got so annoyed with their inability to organize themselves that I started saying, fine, I'll do your short film, but I'm going to make the schedule and I'm going to control this, this, and this. And they would be like, great. Thanks. And I had no idea that was like a job. And I just sort of kept doing it. And I was like in front of the camera a lot until essentially the first short film that I did with Keith, where I just started working on it. And then eventually Keith and the other producer were like, you're like doing a lot of work. Like, do you even realize like what you're doing? And then I sort of realized that I could do that as well. And I found it actually a lot more gratifying because you have a lot more control over like what goes on camera, and it was so much fun to sort of solve problems that don't really exist in the real world. Like that's one of the reasons I love this job, is that I get to solve things that aren't real world problems but are fun nonetheless to solve, and it's always a different problem, so you're never solving the same thing twice. And that's really what's drawn me to it. And then I just kept doing it and doing it on a bigger scale and a bigger scale and a bigger scale until here we are.
Amazing. I love hearing you talking about problem solving and not in the real world. Over the years, I've spoken to so many directors, executive producers. Mick Strawn is one of my favorites. Mick Strawn, he dresses sets for horror movies.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just building a cave, man. I'm building a cave. Like, he's just doing mad stuff.
Speaking of sets for horror, did I ever tell you, I can't remember on the last pod, I was on a zombie thing a few years back, and I as well as doing some background stuff on it, I had the job of essentially mopping up after a bloody massacre. They move on to the next scene, and I'm the guy in the room with the mop trying to clear it up so they can do the scene that was set.
I have to give a shout out to, I've given, in addition to your jingle that you've made for Luke, I have given him a nickname, which has happened just about a couple of weeks ago while we were in France. And he was talking about this same exact movie, and then explaining how over and over he played approximately, I don't know, how many was it?
Probably about 5 zombies?
5 different zombies.
I had like 4 deaths.
He had multiple deaths in the same movie. And we've now coined him the term main zombie.
Main zombie.
Right. Yeah. One day, I don't know when the film's coming out, and I feel like there's also like rules against like essays talking about films, so I won't name the film, but you could very easily find it on my IMDb. I was quite chuffed. I got knocked out.
I could play a zombie.
You could. Yeah, I should have called on you.
I used to work at Shrewsbury Prison as an actor. For about 2 years. They used to write roles for me. Right.
Oh,
they did.
Fancy.
For a year, I played a drag queen whose cell you should definitely not go in because I'd lose my mind. I played a psychopathic butcher, and that was like a role that was mixed with like being really, really creepy, getting like nose to nose with girls and just sniffing their hair and do you know what I mean? Like,
you're making me uncomfortable across the table.
Man, it's great. And then they also did creepy Santa for not creepy Santa, bad Santa with like sickle down me and like a whiskey bottle. Like, what do you want? What do you want? You ain't been good this year. You ain't have no presents. It was amazing. I should definitely be in this movie, is what I'm saying.
I was just thinking that.
You did the audio drama that I cast a while back. You did. I can't remember what your part was, but you did a couple of lines, didn't you? Were you a paramedic?
I can't remember. I've done little.
It was a while back. I do every now and again. I help out this brilliant writer, Stuart Hardy, who is one of my favorite writers to work with, and he has this like podcast series called Stew Bagful's Abnormal Stories, because Stew Bagful was his like YouTube channel, which is also great. And yeah, he just every now and again goes, "I've got an episode that I need actors for. Who do you know?" And I love it. I love the kind of like everyone can record remotely, like just making a couple of phone calls and casting an audio drama. It's.
I want to get. I'd love to get into voice acting, but I've done a little bit. So Ant McGinley, big shout out to the podcast OG in the UK, Ant McGinley. He's doing a pirate. He says it's a podcast. It's more of an audio drama, and he'll be like, "Alex, I need someone screaming at a kid." I'll be like, "All right." He was like, don't change your voice, but I do tend to change my voice a little bit. We had me and Timmy, my son, recording bits for as like a street urchin, and me shouting, "Oh, you little brat," you know, that kind of thing. I love doing stuff like he's had me play Batman.
Nice.
For one thing he did privately. I love doing stuff like that.
There's one coming up.
Being someone else, it's just great.
Yeah.
Every now and again, I do look at the parts that Stu asked me to cast, and I go, that part looks so fun, I'll do it. So there's one coming out where I'm a very sinister ICT teacher in a school. It's also quite funny because Alex Yousefi played my pupil, and that's such a weird dynamic.
Well, I think that's like what's so fun about acting, in the same way that I was just like talking about problem solving things that are not in the real world. I think what initially drew me to acting and why I was initially interested in that, and even to a degree still am, is just because you also get to be something that you aren't.
Yes,
so you get
exactly.
To, get to pretend like, I've always dreamed like, could I be an astronaut? Probably not in the real world, but I could on television. It's a very interesting idea to think about because you open up your brain to something, a way another person thinks or a way another person feels.
See, I go straight to bastard. I'm like, could I be really bad?
But those are the fun parts. They're often where you find the nicest people because they go, this is so different. This is
because I think I'm a nice guy in the outside world, but like, put me in front of the camera.
that was one of my regrets coming out of the pilot of my sketch show, which, hopefully there's more, is like, I didn't get to play evil. I didn't get to play nasty. There was one I did actually, and it got cut, which was my choice. I didn't like it as much as the other sketches, but like, I got to be essentially Q in a James Bond movie. I got to be a pretentious theatre director. I was wondering
where you were going to go. Were you going to go Star Trek?
Yeah, I got to be a pretentious theatre director. I got to be a guy, essentially a recreation of Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. Like, and it was so much fun because I didn't do in front of the camera very much, and it was like, this is like I had my own little playground. So yeah, something sketchy will inevitably when that comes out, I'll phone you up again, and I'll like come talk about it here. But
Luke asked me earlier today if I was gonna do a little extra cameo in First Christmas, which I'm not opposed to, but I did specifically ask. I said I want to play a sarcastic extra, and he goes, "I'm not even sure what that means."
I'm sure you'll pull it off.
I was like, I will find the spot. So we'll talk off camera, but we'll find a spot for you too.
Oh, that'd be lovely. That would be really good.
Come join us at. Yeah.
So, like, we talk about this all the time because my son's an actor. He does, like, bits of stage. He's just... Oh, my God. What has he just done? He's just done Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. On theatre.
That is my favourite musical.
He's just done that. He's doing Addams Family soon. Nice. He loves acting. Mm-hmm. And he's like, Daddy, would you come one day? And I was like, only if it's Bill Sykes, because I'd make a wicked Bill Sykes, I think. Nice. Nancy, like, yeah, I'd love that, right? But I need to build up my confidence, I think. But like, little role.
I have a couple of those little roles in the back. Like, I would love to be Thénardier in Les Mis. That is the part that
I've
never seen Les Mis. I'm sorry.
Well, he is the one comedy character. He's a kind of very so he was in the 2012 film. He was Sacha Baron Cohen. Matt Lucas has done it a lot on stage. They tend to cast like comedians to do it and like in the back of my mind, I'm like, if I do the sketch show and it does really well, then I could be a stunt casting on the West End. I don't have to do any theatre training, and they'll go, hey, why don't you come and play? And just because it's such a very emotional filled musical, which by the way you should watch. Scrap Holes, watch Les Mis, and like it's such a part that I love.
Luke said we can't watch it now. I've sent him to get popcorn. That's where I was going to get. I was going to ask you actually.
Yeah.
Being from the States, we're going to New York in August, which is amazing. I get to meet Tom Bruno in the flesh.
Oh, nice.
We get to hug each other for the first time ever.
I'm still waiting to meet Rob, who I did my About Time podcast with. He's in Glendale, California, and it's still like on my bucket list as I need to meet this guy.
It's my first time properly in the States. I did Hawaii, but anyway, Broadway. We want to go see a Broadway show. Which would you recommend?
Oh, goodness gracious. That is a loaded question.
I know there's so much. But
there's
like,
so many.
Timmy said to me, Wicked's a Broadway show. I was like, oh my God. Well, we've done bad.
Yes, honestly, Wicked. If he's interested in Wicked and you guys saw the movie, I would highly recommend it because I saw it on Broadway many, many years ago, like in the early 2000s. Does it slap better
than the film, or does the film slap better than the Broadway show?
Oh, no, the Broadway show, hands down. It's like so... The most powerful thing about theater, and this actually just happened to me, I saw a movie at the Shakespeare Festival in Ashland, Oregon, which I just happened to have time to see, and I'd forgotten it. I had this same exact experience at Wicked on Broadway many years ago, where I was sitting next to an older guy that had brought his kid or his daughter with him, and we were at Wicked. And I was there by myself because I'm a nerd like that. I will go to a theater show by myself.
Why not? Why not?
And
I would.
And he was just bawling, like crying. And it's just a reminder of how powerful theater is. Like in some ways, in a different medium than movies. And the same thing happened when I was just at the Shakespeare Festival. Oh my God! Now you put me on the spot, and I forget the name. It also was on Broadway, and it was a very famous play about on 9/11 when a bunch of planes got diverted to this very small place in.
Hang on, Come From Away.
Come From Away. Yes, that was exactly it, and it was an amazing experience, and it was the same exact experience where I think that finally like. well after COVID, people are finally ready to go back to theaters again and see things and sit in the same room. And like, I mean, it got a standing ovation at the Shakespeare Festival, and the guy next to me again with his daughter was crying. I was crying. Everybody was crying, and it was such a magical experience. And to be honest, this last few months, I've been at so many film festivals with a couple of my films, and what I've really noticed as the new trend is that people are done with these like big box movies of like Marvel and these other things, and they really want that, maybe not fully done, but really want that experience of seeing something that they can't watch on Netflix or that they can't watch in these other mediums, and that you can feel, and that it's a shared experience. And you know, I have another movie, A Simple Machine, which was a much smaller movie than Wishful Thinking, the one that won South by Southwest. But we've been lucky enough that we just ended our festival run by selling out almost all of our screenings, which we never dreamed would happen. Like, we were the type of movie that we're like, oh my gosh, they put us in a 500-seat theater. What are we going to do? How are we going to fill those seats? Like, we're going to walk in, there's going to be 10 people there. We're going to be so embarrassed. And that didn't happen. Like,
that's amazing.
We sold out. And now like cities all across the country are calling us because it's a bicycle themed movie, and it's about sort of like financial freedom and what does it mean to not be tied to loan and debt and these other things. And so people are really resonating with it. And we have bike communities calling us from all across the country. And I'm headed back next week. We have our first theater date in Cincinnati, Ohio, and then we have dates in Los Angeles, Seattle, Portland, Miami's calling, Canadian cities are calling. We're talking to Boulder, Denver. Like, we're talking to all of these cities who are calling us wanting to program this movie. And that's just like an unprecedented, like that has not happened in so many years.
Really interesting to hear, because when Kevin Smith came back to theatre and started making, sounds really random, but he was making movies, but he would take them to cities. He would take the movie with him and he would play it in different cities, and he'd just sell out. That's not like what I'm used to seeing. Usually I'm used to seeing movies roll out the way they normally, but to do it the way you're doing it, playing it, it's almost like a theatre show.
People want that experience.
Yeah, it's so freaking. I mean, we're playing at independent cinemas, so we're making deals directly with the cinema ourselves. So we don't have like a distributor doing that on our behalf. We have a theatrical booker who's very experienced and has been there for a long time. And so we're sort of planning it as like a community event plus a theater screening. So we've been planning bike rides in all of these communities. So we will approach like the bicycle people. And like we did it with the Cleveland Film Festival, and we had about 85 to 100 people show up for a bike ride. And then we did like what we called a pedal to the premiere. And then we did a fun bike ride where we just got to chat with everybody. And then we showed up at the premiere, and then everybody watched the movie together. And
what's that music video?
It was a really, really fun experience.
Kings and Queens by 30 Seconds to Mars, where everybody's on their bikes for the night in the city. That sounds amazing.
I will say, while we're on the topic of theatre, just because I've not had the chance to bring up the story on a podcast, and it happened quite recently, and I'm sorry,
Luke, we just don't have time for it. Moving on.
Share this story with the world. 2016. 2018, I went to see a production of Macbeth. Christopher Eccleston was in it. It was at the RSC. It was brilliant. I kept a hold of that ticket in the suit jacket that I wore to that event, and I've barely touched that suit jacket since. For some reason, it was like in the back of my wardrobe gathering dust. Anyway, I then got into doing cover teaching every now and again at the Pauline Quirk Academy, sometimes Shrewsbury, sometimes Solihull. And it was the first session I'd done there, and I was like, I need to find a nice, good jacket. And I was like, oh, here's the old jacket from the theatre that surprisingly still fit me, which was lovely. And it still had the ticket in the pocket. And I found that on the train. I was like, what a nice memory. Anyway, I then teaching these students, and the topic of Doctor Who comes up, which is very common with me. And and one of the kids goes, one of the older kids, about 17, 18, goes, oh, actually, I once worked with one of the doctors. I was like, oh, really? She was like, yeah, in 2018, I was in a production of Macbeth with Christopher Eccleston. And I was like, I have a ticket to it in my pocket right now. And I'm so annoyed I didn't ask her to sign it. I'm like, what is the chances of like it is?
Let's work it out. Let me get a calculator with there.
It's so tiny.
Astronomical.
But I'll be honest, I think the rest of that lesson must have been quite dreadful, because I was just in shock. I was like, how? What?
We're gonna need another sound cue from you for future podcasts for every time Luke mentions Doctor Who.
I can't get into this conversation with you again, Luke, because there's so many people going, you need to watch Doctor Who, and I'm going, no, I don't, because I love the idea of Doctor Who. I'm a massive geek, right?
Yeah.
I love geeky shows, but there's something about the wobbly sets and the Daleks that it's just like, I don't know. There's cheap and nasty, but fun cheap and nasty, and then there's just cheap and nasty. But in my mind, I just can't get the cheap.
I don't.
Do you know what I mean?
It's interesting. I don't
what you
know
mean.
about people getting into it now either. Like, I feel like I've been in it for the long haul, and like I've seen through everything and been part of the fandom because half of it, so many things. Half of it's the fandom experience. And actually now the last couple of years, I mean, the deal's now closed, but when Disney took over, it stopped being wobbly sets and it started being bigger. But actually, like...
But I've got no problem with wobbly sets either. I loved Rob McElhenney before the Wrexham takeover, because in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they were holding up boom mics with brooms. Like, they had nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. I think there's something really romantic about it. That's why I love Kevin Smith. They made Clerks for like $15,000, and then they made millions with it. Do you know what I mean? I love that. But I don't know, there's something about a trash can turned upside down and called a Dalek. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, it's in a very interesting place, the show right now, that I have friends that are heavily involved, so I'll be very careful of my words, but I think it is the greatest point of uncertainty the show has had in maybe its 60-year run, at least since the hiatus from 1989 to 1996. But
Hey,
yeah, we'll see.
we digress. We've digressed a lot.
We have
Yeah,
to
Let's talk
took
about the cast.
Woohoo.
first Christmas.
Do you know?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, cool.
No, I don't know. I was just being stupid.
No,
As you said, do you know? Of course
I
do.
normally announce them and talk about them, but you know what? I'm going to just
on
get the
IMDb?
IMDb up and I'm going to pass it to you. It might only be on the IMDb Pro, so it depends how you have that, but I will pass this to you.
Screenshot it.
And you can just go through it. I want your live reaction, and you better care. You can't just, your live reaction can't be like, yeah, all right. There we go. So just have a little scroll through there. That's our cast.
Right then. So we got. I'm gonna see this. I'm gonna have to get my own IMDb up now. Eddie Pence has just messaged me. So before I mention the cast, it's worth mentioning on the podcast that we lost an absolute legend this week with Jerry Rocher, who was whilst we were coming up with You Suck, me and Tom and the team. Eddie Pence and Jerry Rocher were absolutely instrumental on how we did things, and Jerry was a loudmouth Texan. He was in California. He came up. They were a double act, Jerry and Eddie. And whenever Jerry came on the show, he'd have some absolute fit about something. It would be hilarious. Me and Tom would be struggling to breathe. And we lost him to cancer this week. And I cried in the shower. I was like, I don't know. I've never met this guy. It's really weird when someone's from the States and you know them and you love them. And anyway, so let's look at this. Oh, your phone's locked. I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all good. While we're talking about people who lost this week, I never had the chance to work with him as well. But Anthony Head was such an.
Oh, that was another one.
That's such a long conversation. But like, I'd always assumed I'd get to work with him because I knew so many people who did. And he seemed like such an icon of the industry. There we go.
Right, okay. So, I've got two IMDb's up so I can search these people because... Okay. So, we've got Eleanor Tomlinson. Wow. Oh, my God. This cast is Dean Charles Chapman. Yeah. Mark Addy, man. Oh, my God. What a get he is. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Samuel Anderson. Russell Tovey, Ian McNeice, of course. No way, Alex Horne. How have you got Alex Horne to be in it? How did you did he take much convincing? Is he a nice guy? What does he smell like?
he came through a friend of a friend. Yeah, I mean, what I will say is obviously these are cast attachments that can change, but this is unlikely. I just feel like that the agents are going to have a go at me if I don't say that. So these are, but yeah, Alex is great. And was there anyone else on that list? I should remember. Is there anyone?
Well, Dean Charles Chapman as well. He's been in some amazing things. I know his face.
Yeah.
Gosh, how have you managed to get these people?
So some of them, a good chunk of them.
That was no way meant disrespect.
No, please do. This is exactly the reaction I want.
These people.
This is the reaction I
mean,
want.
a lot of it comes from directly back from what we were talking about earlier about the script. People really resonated with the script and wanted to be in a movie like this, and sort of signed on board with the vision and the idea, and then. It's in the same way of we were talking about investors. Like, you got to get people to buy into the vision of the movie and what it's about, and really letting them see what you see behind for them in the movie.
Yeah, and some of them, it's a lot of them came through our casting director. Some of them kind of came through with
Luke. Now is the time for your shout out to the
shout out Amy Jackson. Others kind of came through friends of friends. So Sam Anderson. He's very pally with Russell Tovey. They started out together, so he helped us get Russell and one of the other, couple of the others, and it's been lovely. Oh, and Yasmin Al Qadari.
I love Russell Tovey. Being Human was one of my favourite shows.
Yes.
I mean,
another defining Bristol show, I should say.
That's Bristol. That's right. That's correct. Doctor Who as well. He's in Doctor Who.
Yes, yeah, and he did a spin-off last year.
He used to do he does this thing when he gets really angry, gets really irate, and his voice gets really high when he talks. I love him. He's great.
But they've been lovely, and we've had a real privilege of a lot of the cast we've sat and had chats with in person. So obviously I say the cast attachment thing, which essentially is they've given us a letter of intent that is, we know they're available. We've been discussing kind of a lot of details with them. And they're like, you are allowed to use our name to get finance and to say that the actor is attached to the project. But we've sat in cafes with Dean Charles Chapman and Mark Addy and spoke to them in person, and it was lovely with Dean because we sat down with him, and a lot of these meetings you expect it to be trying to pitch it to them. When they ask to meet you first, you kind of think, okay, I need to sell this film to them, and Dean, the second we sat down, he went, just so you know, I love the script. I'm doing this film anyway. I just want to know what you guys are like. And we just had a lovely hour chat about movies we like. And he's great because he then came and did... So Yasmin, who's playing Hannah, that's his character's girlfriend. So we ran chemistry tests, and Dean then came and did some chemistry reads with us and chatted with us.
I think I've interviewed Ian McNeice. I think I did it at Comic-Con one year.
Maybe. He's in... contact with him is thanks to Henry House. He did a day on Henry House, and then we were looking at the character of the vicar, and I was like, I loved working with Ian, and thankfully he must have liked working with me. He's since had the whole script, but thankfully his scene was enough to get him interested, and that's what's been so lovely. So yeah, we were going to Cannes with that cast, and people going like, oh, and getting a cast like that before your finances in place doesn't really happen. So people were like,
anybody that's really rich listening to this podcast, you might want to finance this movie.
Get your ego credit.
We do have rich listeners. We do.
I mean, we're in Shrewsbury. It's so that is the big thing. And there's big funds that we're looking for. Like significant chunks of the budget investment, but equally, actually, we're business sponsorship for kind of 10,000-15,000 pounds. Let's see if you can get your logo in there. See if you can get some, And this has... It always sounds pretentious to say this, but I truly, truly believe this has the potential to be a Christmas classic. This has the potential to be the film that a family put on every year and becomes a tradition. Every Christmas Eve we sit and watch First Christmas. And imagine if your business is in that,
I love for you to have the same effect. We haven't even mentioned The Christmas Carol. The whole podcast, we haven't even mentioned it. You mentioned Ebenezer Scrooge.
I was going to mention Ebenezer Scrooge, yes. But yeah, I mean, that's been sort of the last... We can make this town the Christmas classics town. And
I love as well that, with The Christmas Carol, everyone has a story. Everyone has my neighbour's back of their head is in the background of this scene. And I love how the town kind of took it in, and it was an exciting thing that, this movie's come to... And I'll be honest, it was a bit of a while ago, wasn't it? And we're still talking about it. And I think that's what really excites me about First Christmas is coming to a region where I want to be the exciting thing on the street. I want to be the thing that, everyone has a story of, I walked past and I saw Russell Tovey going to the cafe on his lunch break. I want that.
Coughing on a hairball. That's a Being Human joke. He's a werewolf in the... All right.
But I want those kind of that kind of excitement. I don't
Give me
want
an
it to be
interview with Russell Tovey. Like,
try and get you come on set. Like, come.
I'd love.
Bring your new microphones,
new mics.
My new mics.
And
I'll
come-
show them my new toys. My new mics.
come join us. And what I will say when we're talking financing, when we're talking investment, this is an industry that moves quick. We are shooting this year. We are entering pre-production in ideally a matter of weeks. Like if you want to,
We'll follow this with a show.
come and
We'll follow this with a show. The program from now right till it's released. You got my support with a biscuit. Honestly, I don't have money, but I got microphones. Do you know what I mean?
great.
Words are just as powerful.
checking in, and like this is things. This is an industry where things do move very quick. I mean, I've been on films where, within 2 weeks of getting their finance, they're shooting. We're more organized than that, but like that happens. That is.
Well, you're bringing people from all over the world for this production. What are your plans while you're here? How long are you over for?
I'm just here for this week. We've had a full pack schedule already.
Yeah.
We're headed to Bristol tomorrow morning, and then we're going to London on Thursday.
I don't want to go to London. Nobody ever wants to go to London.
We need to go to London because that's where some people with money are. We have to go to London.
They asked us to come to London.
Yeah, so we're going to London for Thursday and Friday. And then, I'm headed back to the States, but then I'll be back as soon as we land that final financing. We're going to hit the ground running. And you guys should...
Mid-flight.
You guys should watch out because it'll be fast and furious once we come back.
I say that I'm going to London next week, actually. My wife's got to go and vote for the Colombian elections. So I'm going to take Timmy down there. I'm going to go to a museum.
It's just been lovely feeling the excitement for the film because the first year of development, you're banging on these doors and you're saying, please give us money, give us support. And they go, yeah, but who's in it? Who's, we don't care. And then you come back.
From was it King Kong with Jack Black. Will there be boobies? Like, no, there'll be no boobies. Like, it's mad, isn't it? How there's certain things that draw people, like you said, names. Who's in it? How long is
sometimes
it? What's it about?
Sometimes it's a bit disheartening. I don't know if you found this, Alyssa. Before you get cast attached, you've put sometimes upwards of a year of your life into getting this thing off the ground, and then someone's like, "Who's in it?" And we're not at that bit yet. Like, come on, look at the other cool things we've done. But it's
about finding the right people for the right job, though, isn't it? I mean, it's all well and good having great names, but you wouldn't have John Bernthal play Ebenezer Scrooge. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a Punisher. Like,
you equally see it takes movies down in a way.
Yeah.
Right? When things are miscast, and I've been on movies that happened, or I've been on something that then fell apart because you could already tell that they were just trying to throw a name actor into a role that didn't really fit them.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't service the movie, which then takes away from the entire experience. So I think what's really special is that we've taken the time to try to make a cast that feels cohesive, and we still have a few more roles to cast, which we specifically have left out because we want to add the exact right people to the mix, which we will, and that's I think that's a different art in of itself is creating an ensemble that really makes sense for the vision of the movie.
I think if I can say so about our own cast, I think it's a very intelligent cast. Like it's a cast that I think feels a level that they are actors that feel prestige. They're actors that are known for being really bloody good actors rather than
know what they're doing.
Yeah, rather than necessarily they were in a big Hollywood movie and that's why they're like these
there's not ego driven, it's talent driven.
These are I think when someone looks at our cast list, it is clear that each character is thought out just by looking at it. You see that lineup and you go, those are long thought out decisions, and that's what's been so fun with the whole journey as well. And it's been such a lovely response. And my favorite thing about our cast actually is everyone I talk to, they're excited about someone else. Like, I think they're really there's loads of excitement about Addy, but then someone else goes, no way, you got Eleanor Tomlinson. And other people you got DMs from people really excited about Russell Tovey. And then I've had some people who are just excited about little Alex Horne. And I love
I didn't get too excited about Alex Horne. What are you on about?
But that is what has been so cool about this this journey, and I think that's reflective of the multiple audiences that this film has a chance to reach with this cast. And as you were saying as well about the international roles that we're yet to fill, like we're having conversation with international sales agents about, if we were looking at like German sales, it's like, would the film do better in Germany if we
Will there
cast
be
this
boobies?
German actor in this other role? And that is what has been so interesting.
What I wanted to ask was, when it comes to the location, obviously Shrewsbury, do you know exactly where you're going to be filming, or are you going to leave it to the Americans come over and gone, oh my God, that's so pretty? Because it does matter. It does matter.
No, it does matter. And, obviously it's just here, Luke and I here today, and we have a lot of discussions to have. We've taken a lot of photos, and we haven't decided on anything yet, and we will be back and be ready to make decisions in a very quick mode. But we've seen a lot of things today, which are very exciting.
And sometimes you find the thing about this process as well is because you're moving so quick. A lot of the film is set inside its family home. We could find the perfect family home, and then we go, right, we need to shoot 2 weeks from now. And they're like, we're busy, So you have to explore other options as well. And I mean, I've discussed in interviews before, there are regional incentives in other parts that are outside of Shrewsbury that mean that for a film that is set inside a family home, do we actually shoot all the interiors somewhere where there's more money and then come to Shrewsbury to shoot the exteriors? I would love to keep everything in Shrewsbury, but that is what happens. And if you want to compete and not have us shoot in Shrewsbury, then please give us money.
Or that, I mean, also to all the real estate agents in the area, we walked into a couple today randomly asking for any houses that might have been on the market a little long. And
what kind of house are you looking for? Like an estate house?
For the houses itself, also in addition to the location, another character in the movie. And it's a family home where all of the children have grown up and come back. So it's kind of a multi-generational home, but it needs to be of a sort of a somewhat substantial size, and we're looking for something with sort of like some greenery around it, maybe a little bit more rural.
So not like Attingham Park. You don't know that. We take it to see Attingham Park.
It's sort
That's
of
probably too big.
Yeah, it's the middle ground because it's a family home, but part of the story, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying this, is that like they are, since the mother's passing, struggling a little bit financially as well. And I think you don't always believe that when you see a big manor house of like, you're struggling financially. Like, so it's the middle ground. And equally, as I say, it is such a character. It's a house that needs character, but also, we love the idea of this sort of quaintness of the outskirts of Shrewsbury, where it's like, surrounded by farmlands on the top of the hill.
I think sort of like the juxtaposition of like,
would that be too big?
No, I don't think so.
That's Netley Hall.
The interior is sort of like we're inside the house so much that when we go outside of the house, we'd really love to feel the natural landscape of the area. I guess that's sort of what we mean by being on the rural outskirts, is like you want to see the greenery, the gentle sort of hills, like whatever you can see. And maybe the houses aren't too close together. It would be nice to have some space. I mean, there's a little bit of action in the story that happens in the exteriors of the house. So having enough room and space to really see the broad nature of the landscape would be really nice.
Well, listeners, if you know of a place that sounds like that, then please get in touch, and I'll get you in touch with Luke. But what I'll do is, have you got I'll put your email website? Is there a website?
Yeah, there's both. Luke at askseekknock.co.uk is my email address. That can get.
I'll put it at the bottom of the readout, guys.
That is, I always tell people my email address is public domain. Like, throw it around. Like, share it with your mates. Stick it on lampposts.
Be careful. 2 weeks ago, some guy just rang me to vent, I guess, about a previous guest I had, and I was like, please don't call the show and rant about previous guests because you don't agree with them.
If you hate any of my films, my phone number's on my website. Let's have a chat. But no, it's interesting. I mean, I will say that's the other exciting thing about Cannes, that we just going back on that point, was we haven't always been about First Christmas, but actually, like, we had people get in touch who had other projects who'd seen, you know, our credits and been like, can I pitch my film to you? Can you know, have a, you know, so it was quite nice because as well as us coming to Cannes and
Luke
meeting
Allen.
exciting people. Yeah.
Do you know who he is?
You know, I had people being like, hey, I'm working on a short film, like, can you come give me some advice? And that was lovely. It's kind of nice firming your place within the industry that, like, you know, I felt like in Cannes there were people we looked up to who were aspirational to us, but there were people who looked up to us that we were aspirational to, and we fit very comfortably into the infrastructure of Cannes.
Man, this is seeing you go from a squeaky little. You've never really been squeaky. You kind of still sound the same. I don't think your voice has ever broken. It's always just been the way it is. But seeing you go from that spotty little teen to what you are now, I'm so proud of you, man.
Cheers.
Seriously, like.
Amazing.
You've done amazing work, and like you've gone from step to step to step to be where you are, and a lot of that is from obsession of movies. And
yeah, I mean, my social life and my film life have been the same. That has been the main thing. Where it's like, actually, I think the sacrifices, like, I didn't.
Do you know how many copies of About Time he used to have?
Oh, I've heard so much about it. That's the second. So next to Doctor Who, the second mention is About Time. So you need a separate
Have I ever
sound
asked you if
cue.
you've even seen it?
We've talked about it so many times. I've actually
Guess what
met
you're doing
with-
tonight?
So like that's the second one you need. But then like I'm just really hoping my last hope wish for this podcast right now is, can we please play the Luke jingle as the closeout to the podcast
Absolutely.
as well?
And we will pick this back up because we got
please do.
StreamYard.
Yeah.
You can do it when you're in the
Yes.
States. We can
We
catch
can
him.
remote in. Yeah, I mean, it'd be lovely to introduce you to our director. He's great. He's very charismatic.
And definitely when we come back,
yeah.
we'll have you on set and we'll figure out a bunch of things we can do.
Yeah, it'd be great. There's a few days where, you know, we're looking for crowds, and we've had some lovely people get in touch already about that front, you know, and that's the inevitable conversation that happens all the time when we're talking about film, is people go, "Can I be in it?" And you know,
That was a really good voice. Gonna be in it. That's great, though.
and so Lizzie, who's on our team, if you email Lizzie at ask@knock.uk, I can't promise anyone anything. There's a lot of different routes on these things, but she is keeping a wonderful log of the local people that want to be involved, and we can then revisit that at a later stage.
Well, I'll be there every step of the way. Thank you so much for joining me on the
thank you.
show. An extended show today, an hour and 20. We usually do an hour, but I'd speak to you for an hour, hours and hours.
Yeah.
You know, but thank you so much for coming to Shropshire, Shrewsbury, and on the show.
Absolutely.
Hope you have a great
I'll
stay.
be back.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Cheers.
Oh my gosh, it's him! Who's the fella with the sunny day smile? Got that upbeat, can-do kind of style. Who brings the good times along for the ride with a pocket full of sunshine deep inside. Everyone shout it out, make some noise. It's Luke Allen! What a swell guy!
So there we have it. Alyssa, thank you so much for being such an amazing guest. And Luke, thank you so much for bringing so much excitement to the town. I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm recording this outro a couple of days after we recorded. And who was I speaking? I was speaking to Mike Perkins. I went and interviewed him the other day. That's next week's short episode you got to listen to. I was talking about, like, because Mike has included a lot of Shrewsbury architecture in with Batman First Night, which you should definitely go and buy and read and enjoy. There's the Christmas Carol tour people can do. You can go and see parts of Shrewsbury that was in the Batman comic now. And of course, we were talking this episode about landmarks that can be used to make this film. And, you know, it's just an exciting time, isn't it? It's an exciting time. And I know lots of things have happened with, like, TV and film in Shrewsbury within the years. There's been lots of little bits filmed, you know, streets that have been used to film parts. You know, I get that it's a very photogenic town, but like to focus it in Shrewsbury, like First Christmas, very exciting stuff, man. Gotta say. So a couple of days after we did this interview, Luke got in touch and asked if I could help him, because I'm the connector, Alex the connector. I bring people together, both physically and through audible abilities. Anyway, he was looking. That's all me today. He was looking for a space to do auditions, and I got in touch with the first person I thought of, and that was Natalie Weller from Sundawn Sports Hall. Great big space with lots of rooms coming off it and stuff. I know they've just had a problem with flooding, but I think a bit of good promotion into production promotion would help everybody. So I just thought it'd be really cool. So they're talking, and I think we've got them in an audition space. So they're doing auditions, and Alyssa, I think, staying here for an extra week as well. I mean, Shrewsbury's grabbed her that much that she's like, I ain't going home. So well done, Shrewsbury. Brilliant. I love this. Guys, really, really important. Really important. All right, listen. If you see me at the food festival in a couple of weeks, with my little microphones, I'm doing food hot takes, come and say hello, all right? Even if you don't want to come and do it, I mean, I'll probably try and convince you to come do a food hot take, but I want as many people as possible to get involved, all right? So if you see me about with it, I mean, after we do the food festival, I'm probably going to be in and around Shrewsbury doing it. I think the idea is going to be that I'm going to drop something on social media, and I'm going to be like, I'm here today, come and give me your hot takes, and people meet me in town. And then we record some stuff. I sit there for, I don't know, 1 or 2 hours. I record with like half a dozen people. We'll cut them all up and then we'll release them on social media. And that's the whole idea, right? So come and be part of Biscuit Takes. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode, especially if this is your first time tuning into the Shrewsbury Biscuit. Thank you so much. Please give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. That's where my socials are. You can also drop me an email if you want to get involved. It's shrewsburybiscuitpodcast@gmail.com. Take a look at the website, which is yet to be updated with a new logo, but I'll be getting on that very soon. But the website is the shrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk, and that is lovingly made for us by Web Orchard. If you need a website for whatever it is you do in this world, they'll make the perfect website just for you. So if you fancy building a website, go and give Web Orchard a visit. And if you do visit them, just because you listen to this podcast, tell them that I sent you, all right? And I get a hearty high five. So, Bill, thank you for tuning in, guys. Next week, you've got Mike Perkins, the world famous Mike Perkins. So make sure you join me then. Have a great week. Catch you later. Peace out.
Said I took my lumps, roll with the punches, made my bed, ignored my hunches. I focused on the wrongs, but baby, you are the change now.